What the heck is going on? Am I the only one? Something weird's going on. I don't know if this is a 2020 thing. Things might continue to get weirder, but I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty disorientated right now. I'm like, what? Calendar says it's November 9th, 2020. And Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. All right. What? How did this happen? Is anyone else stopping to reflect where we're at right now? Not only that, but supposedly now, Biden's won. That's what the mainstream media has said. And I mean, can you really? Doesn't matter what side you're on, even if, when you were excited when Trump won in 2016, or if you would have been happy if he'd have won now. Isn't it interesting to think how, I've seen people celebrating and excited and saying a lot of awesome stuff. Oh, Biden, blah, blah. Like, what? Same thing with Trump. Like, what? Like, that's who you're excited about? That's who you're, oh, yeah, woo. It's like, what? Am I the only one that's confused? I'm super confused. Like, that guy, like Biden, for instance, like, he's been how long has he been in office? Before I was born, I'm 31. I'm pretty sure it's before I was born. He hasn't done anything for anybody. And I'm pretty sure he's lost to, like, all the other candidates in the primaries, right? Like, lost to Obama. I think he ran in the I don't even know for sure on that. But I'm pretty sure he lost to Obama. That's why he became the vice president. And then Obama is his vice president, and he didn't even endorse him when he ran against Hillary. That should tell you something about the guy. He's not even able to form sentences. And whatever, man, maybe, like, whatever. Hey, you think that he is going to do a better job than Trump, because whatever. Fair enough. But it's like, I just want to take a second to kind of reflect on people who are in that state of like, wow, behind this. And I really want to look at this as like, is this manipulation? It's easier to fool someone than to convince them they've been fooled. But it's like, look what team you're on. Like, you're standing behind, like you would say, like if there was a war right now, like literally, and that's what it's a spiritual and metaphysical, psychological war. It's like you're standing behind that person. It's like they're like they're like gods. The idea of them are like gods, and they're like fighting. And it's like, I mean, you're gonna get behind Trump or Biden. Like, that's who you follow. And I don't know. I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm saying we deserve better. We need to take a hard look at stuff and be like, what is going on? What literally is going on here? How did this happen? And I would seriously question people like, did you? And I've seen it happen on both sides, right? Like, let's just take the primaries, the Democratic primaries, for instance. Like, Harris and Biden were at each other's throat, calling each other racist, and they became president and vice president. Like, oh yeah, go back and watch that debate. I think it's the third or fourth debate on CNN. I'll drop a link if I can find it. Like, they're just at each other's throats. Like, you're racist, you're a racist, and all of a sudden they're like, let's bond together, let's unite the country. It's like, what? You guys were just arguing on live TV on CNN and calling each other racist and about how terrible you are. And then it's like, let's join powers. It's like, what? It's crazy. And I'm not here to defend Trump. Like, the guy's done plenty, said and acted in several ways that is not presidential at all. And it's like, don't we deserve better? And I think one of the main things on my end that I just want to bring up is like looking at the media and what role do they play in this? JFK's speech was literally about the media's role is to challenge. The media's role is free speech. The media's role is to bring different sides. Journalists are supposed to investigate. One thing that actually frustrates me quite a bit about what's going on right now is how the media has called it for Biden. And it's like, statistically speaking, when you look at the numbers, like, probably a good chance he's going to win. Looks like there might be some voter fraud. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. But it's like, you should at least be able to investigate that. Right? I mean, like, if it was the other way around, like, didn't we just investigate him for 4 years of Russian collusion? And maybe it was. I don't know. I'm like, let's investigate. Let's hopefully use our court system to decide what the truth is. But it's super weird right now that the media hasn't, like, I can't remember her name. One of Trump's aides was on TV, and Fox News, like, silent, like stopped her. They're like, shut her up. She might be spouting fake news. It's like, what? The way good ideas get formed, the way the truth is found is through debate and through dialogue. And this censorship stuff, man, that's one of the main things that bothers me. And not only that, but it's like there's a power that the media has, not only to censor people, but because they have the main platform to not show other stuff. Like, let's talk about COVID. Why are the cases so high in the United States? Could be a lot of different reasons. Could be that we test higher. I think there's two things that I'd like to point out. Number one, America's super unhealthy. And why does that happen? Why is America super unhealthy? Well, it could be the fact that when we watch the mainstream media every night, that what are the commercials about? Are they about like going to the gym and getting healthier and eating? No. They're pharmaceutical companies. So that should tell you something. Where are these mainstream media people getting their money? Who's sponsoring them? Well, when I watch the commercials, it's all about these, antidepressant drugs. Anti-anxiety drugs. Drugs that may help your anxiety, but also give you suicidal thoughts. Whoa, what a good trade. And after the pharmaceutical company, who else? What's the next commercial? Oh, probably McDonald's. And we complain and talk about the COVID stuff. So I think one of the reasons America is not doing so great with the COVID, and I don't know what the real numbers are, and the statistical analysis of how they're counting those versus other countries. But number one, we're super unhealthy. You can look at that statistics you can't hide even that through the statistics. I forget what the statistics are on overweight and obese, but they're a lot. Obese might even be like a fourth of the population, and overweight's over half. Is it that high? I think it's probably that high. I need to double check. I should know that, huh? But so number one, we have the mainstream media, and all of its commercials are McDonald's, Pepsi, Taco Bell, pharmaceuticals. So there's no wonder why we're not healthy. Because what we're getting programmed, you're going on the television, the thing that tells you a vision to get programmed. Oh, vote for blah, blah, blah. Take my drugs, blah, blah, blah. McDonald's, blah, blah, blah. And then anyone else that offers anything else, oh, no. Fake news. Actually, they're the fake news. Conspiracy or whatever it is. It's like, man. But anyway, so unhealthy. And we're the land of the free, home of the brave. So I would expect a country that lives by those values will most likely brave an environment. Do you think the founding fathers were really scared when they signed the Declaration of Independence? I mean, that's the story you've heard, that like your Hancock, right? Like, let me get your John Hancock. That's literally because when they signed the Declaration of Independence, he signed his name real big. He's like, I want the King of England to be able to see my name without putting his glasses on. Like, they weren't afraid. I mean, we're made up of immigrants. We're made up of brave people that left their homes to look for something new. So how many of these people now have moved here? These immigrants have created a business. They've left their family. My great-great-great-grandfather, when he left Germany, braved the ocean and then hitchhiked and got all the way into southern Illinois. I don't think he'd have got here and then be like, oh no, there's a virus. I'm going to hide in my hut or whatever. It has a 0.0000%, 3% chance of killing me. It's like, that's not how America works. We're brave. Sometimes you get hurt. Sometimes it's dumb. Let's be honest. And I think that's one of the reasons that America's great is because we have a lot of brave people that are willing to take chances. So number one, though, but we're all getting brainwashed at night to do all the pharmaceuticals and fast food instead of going to the gym, going for a walk, maybe talking to your family, playing with your dog. Go out and play with your dog if you're listening to this. Pet your dog. I love dogs. Pet your dog. So it just makes you think, did you get brainwashed into supporting both these people? Either of them? I mean, did you ever see Joe Biden in the last 20 years like, that's the guy I want to be president? Donald Trump, you're fired. Like that guy? Oh, that guy would make a good president. You know what? He ran like the U.S. Miss America or something? We deserve better. It's kind of what I'm getting at. And I think that until we reflect on that and we look at what kind of things were being televised, what visions are being told to us, until we take back our minds from the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, you can get into psychological warfare that there's an idea. You know, the ancient Greeks used to say that we were the playthings of the gods, and they were ideas. And when cultures would fight, they're super orient principles what were on the line. So if you had a culture that's really liked swords and one that really liked bow and arrows, then that's what was on their hierarchy of what was important to them. And then when their cultures had combat, one would come out on top. So we need to look at that. I think it's right now we got to look at culturally, like what's happening, what's going on, where are our morals? I'm Christian, so I kind of have, those are they're laid out for me. Say what you want about that, but I think y'all ought to read Sodom and Gomorrah and how that happened. I don't know. I think my rant's over. My rant's not over because I didn't talk about the military-industrial complex. And, from what I've heard already, Biden's going to go pick our good buddy Dick Cheney to help him with his foreign affairs. And that's one thing. Like, why do we trust the mainstream media? It's pretty obvious that they have an agenda. And everyone has an agenda. Don't get me wrong. Most people have bias and agenda one way or another. And we need our belief systems to orientate us. And that's how we often form our agendas, right? We see the world. We try to map it, try to figure it out. We internalize it. And then we try to use tools to walk through. And Dick Cheney? Didn't y'all read, hey, remember when there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? We must invade them and take them out. There were no weapons of mass destruction. Sorry about the thousands of deaths and millions and trillions and billions of dollars. But, hey, there are people in our administration that happen to make a lot of money. I mean, I don't know. Fact check me. I heard something about Dick Cheney and Halliburton, his construction company, made a lot of money in that. I don't think that's cool. I really don't like, what I really, really, really don't like is when politicians go into office and their salaries, what's president? I think it's $400,000 a year. How does someone go into office making $400,000 a year become a multi-millionaire? Think about that. I don't know. I'm just, pointing out the obvious that we're being led by the least among us. And the mainstream media is just smoke and mirrors right now, and so no one knows what to believe. All right, my rant's over.